What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Earl the Pearl doing a little sneak peek of the Ultimate 216 show, man, that's set to launch on February 8th. Can I tell you all how excited I am to be starting my own show? It's something that I've been working towards since I finished Ohio Media School. So what is the Ultimate 216 show going to be about? The Ultimate 216 show is a weekly stop where we talk about sports, life, and culture. You know, I wanted to do something a little different than what's already on the UCSS YouTube page. I wanted to do something that kind of spoke to the streets, kind of spoke to what we deal with in everyday life. And of course, man, talk some sports with some of the best fans in the world. So I'll be here for a half an hour every week. The pilot episode launches February 8th at 5 p.m. Make sure you all are tapped in for that. While you here, make sure you are subscribed to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Ring the bell so you can get every single alert. In addition to the Ultimate 216 show, we got the Ultimate Cavs show coming your way with my boy Mikey McNuggets. We got the Ultimate Brown show coming your way with G. Bush. And we got an Ultimate Cleveland Guardian show coming. Host yet to be determined. Y'all don't know this. He don't know this, but Ant Cantor Spelly might be taking that, man. So that's what we're going to be doing, man. We're going to have some fun. Let's get right into it because we don't have much time. Couple Browns things to touch on, man. As you all have heard by now that the Cleveland Browns have actually hired Duce Staley as their next running backs coach, man. Duce Staley, the former Philadelphia Eagle, played a while in the league, was with the Carolina Panthers last season. He comes in and replaced Stump Mitchell. I'm really, really interested to know what you all think about that, right? Because a lot of people was kind of upset that, Stump was let go. And now we have a new running backs coach, somebody that has played in the league, a veteran that's respected around the NFL. And it'd be interesting to see how he fits in. This is the second hire within the last 48 hours to kind of fill out the Cleveland Browns staff from the guys who left, right? We just got Tommy Rees in, who was the former offensive coordinator for the University of Alabama, spent a lot of time under Nick Saban as a disciple of one of his. He's going to come in, run the tight ends group, and then, hopefully he'll be helping out with the pass game coordinating. So now we got Duce in the mix. And, Duce is a dude who had a solid career. He's a dude that was definitely a part of my childhood. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table. Let me pull up his career stats for you all right quick so y'all can get just a glance of what that kind of looked like. So here's Duce's career stats. Ran for almost a little bit over 5,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, had a 4.0 yards per carry, man. That's kind of huge to me. It'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table, how he can help Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong, and whoever else that ends up in the Cleveland Browns running back room. I like it. What y'all think? I see some of the comments starting to trickle in. The Deuce is loose, man. I'm from that era to where we played a lot of Madden, right? And Deuce and the Eagles was one of the teams that I would play with because Deuce, he gets busy. So for initially, I was kind of bummed out behind Stump Mitchell getting fired. But, as time went on and more came out about that situation, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure you all heard by now he was called a media leak. He did a interview with Cameron Justice. Shout out to Cam. Great interview. Didn't really, have anything bad to say about the organization. Seems like he still wishes the Cleveland Browns well. Did kind of throw Kareem Hunt under the bus, but that's another story for another day. And so he's been replaced. It'll be interesting to see, what Deuce can bring to the table that Stump, didn't. Stump was a guy who coached in his NFL for over 20 years, produced over 6 1,000-yard backs. But Deuce got his own resume in his own right, and I like the hire. I'm interested to see what you all think about the hire. I think, honestly, when it comes to coaches that's on the rise, I think the Browns are 2 for 2 in the hiring, right? The Browns have done a great job of identifying young and up-and-coming coaches. It's funny because on the Behind the Glass podcast, maybe about a week or so ago, I had kind of spoke to, I'm starting to appreciate a lot of former players getting the opportunity to become coaches in the NFL, primarily head coaches. But you see these dudes that you watch play as a child or as a young adult retire and become students of the game and start coaching themselves. And I think that when you're a guy that actually played at a high level in this league, I think you're more relatable to some of these players, especially these new age players, right? People tend to kind of listen more to people that has actually been out there in the trenches, actually been out there doing the things necessary. And so for me, I like seeing it, right? We know Antonio Pierce just became the permanent head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. We said Gerard Mayo becoming the next head coach of the New England Patriots. You got guys like Mike Vrabel, who's a former linebacker, former Super Bowl champion. Eventually will land another job. It's just so many different examples of these former players becoming coaches and then being able to connect to these players that I think is beneficial. Same thing with Tommy Rees, right? Tommy Rees was a quarterback at Notre Dame, did not have a successful season in the NFL, but because he was a student of the game, was able to transition pretty quickly. And at 31 years old, he is one of the next, up and coming coaches. So, yeah, that's what the Browns did. A couple other Browns notes on this as I pull up this email real quick. The Browns also signed kicker Lucas Harviska to a reserve future contract. So Lucas is 6'2", 188 pounds. He's second NFL season out of Arizona. He was originally signed to the Colts practice squad back in 2022. He's actually spent some time on the Browns practice squad this past season before he was signed to the LA Rams active roster. He played in 9 games for the Rams, 15 to 20 on field goals, 19 to 22 on extra points. So the Cleveland Browns was out here making a couple moves, hired a coach, signed a kicker. I think we all know D-Hop will be the Browns kicker next year. I think we all know and hope like D-Hop is the Browns kicker for years to come. I don't really buy much into this. I think that this is just something, to have a guy on the roster that when the sad time comes can probably breed some competition. If you watch the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show earlier today, you heard Tyvus talk about, bringing in competition only helps better the other player. If you know anything about me, man, one of my favorite sayings is iron sharpens iron as one person betters another. So, the Browns is out here making moves. Let me know in the chat what y'all think. Y'all like the Duce Staley hire? Y'all think it's the right move for the Cleveland Browns? Do you even think he could get more out of Nick Chubb than what Stump got? Me personally, I think he ain't here to coach everybody else, man. I don't really think Nick Chubb actually needs a running backs coach. Let's see what he got here. Said Duce won. Let's see here. We got Christian Thompson. Duce won with Jim Schwartz in 2017. Duce had Jamal Williams with 17 touchdowns last year. That is fact that he did. And so, like I said, man, former player, right? And he was a dude that could block out of the, he could pass block. He could run the ball out the shotgun. He could catch the ball out the backfield. Duce was fast enough to get around the edge, and he was smart enough to pick the right gap to run between the tackles. And so, I mean, I like the hire. Are you going to move on, man? So the Cleveland Cavaliers are looking to extend their winning streak to 9 tonight as they travel to Milwaukee and play the Milwaukee Bucks, as you see here. The game is at 8 p.m. Check your local listing, how to get the games. I know we all watching the Cavs games any way we can these days. According to FanDuel, as of right now, the Bucks are 7-point favorites in this game. I don't know about y'all, man, but the Cavs has been fun to watch lately. The Cavs has been super exciting. G kind of put it perfectly, man. They remind you of the Cavs back in 2015, 2016, to where they was just hitting threes left and right. You look at the Cleveland Cavaliers numbers statistically over the last 15, 16 games, and they lead the NBA in damn near every category that matter. They're first in the NBA in rebounds a game, 3-point percentage, best in the league right now. They have really, really found something with this 1 in and 4 out. And a lot of it has been against sub 500 teams, right? And so I think it's hard to get a true grasp of exactly how this will look until you play a competent opponent. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks is exactly that. Now, we just played the Bucks, I think it was that last week, and I don't think we got a true view of how this thing will look. Giannis Antetokounmpo did not play. One of the things I learned, I kind of paid attention to before that game. I think the Bucks came in, it was like 2-point favorites, and as soon as Giannis was ruled out, it seemed like the rest of the team didn't show up. And the Cavs ended up beating them pretty handily. So this is kind of what happened the last game. We won 135-95. Spider dropped 31 points. Jared Allen has been on a tear. I think his double-double streak is up to 12 games now. And I think he should make that 13, honestly. So that'd be interesting to say. Giannis did not play. The biggest thing for me was the Cavs out-rebounded the Bucks 55-36 in the last game, right? And with Giannis there, I'm just real interested to see exactly this style of play, if it can continue. And I believe that it can. Sam Merrill has been playing lights out. We was in our office talking the other day, and I think, we were talking earlier today. I said, he should be in the 3-point shootout. You know what I'm saying? Drop the fire emoji if you want Sam Merrill in the 3-point shootout. Drop it right now. Not only do I think he should be in it, but I think he'll win it. Like, the dude releases crazy quick. McNuggets did an entire breakdown on Isaac Okoro, how he's improved defensively, how the Cavs as a team has improved defensively since he's entered the starting lineup. I just love how this team is playing, and we all know the elephant in the room. How would this thing look when Evan Mobley and Darius Garland get back? I can tell you we got a while before we kind of travel down that road. So just staying in the now, it's a big test for the Cavaliers. But I think that, they can kind of push this thing to that 9th win. As you know, the Milwaukee Bucks fired their coach. It'll be an interim head coach in there tonight. This is the first of back-to-back road games against the Milwaukee Bucks. And we'll be seeing Doc Rivers pretty soon, right? And so I think that with everything's going on with them, of the 2 games, I think this is the one that the Cavs might get. I'm not really sure, exact how motivated, Milwaukee would be. It's one thing to know your interim coach and be your head coach for the rest of the season, but it's a totally different thing when you got a guy like Doc Rivers ready to take over. And it's a mental game sometimes, right? Sometimes dudes check out. I hope that they are not, because I feel like, I want to see the Cavs get tested, right? And a fully loaded Milwaukee Bucks team against the hottest team in the NBA, who just happened to be our Cleveland Cavaliers. That's what we want to see. We got Joseph in there dropping the fire emojis. B. Skrills dropping the fire emojis. Is this George or Jorge? Joseph Latman says they finally found some depth pieces like Merrill and Porter Jr. Facts, right? And it's funny because I feel like, they kind of stumbled upon what they have right now. I feel like that if Todd Jerome didn't get hurt, if Ricky Rubio didn't retire, if Darius Garland, of course, didn't get hurt, we wouldn't be seeing Sam Merrill or Craig Porter Jr., which would actually suck. And I feel like that by accident, JB stumbled into a situation to where you had no choice but to develop the young talent that was here. And so going forward, I think these young guys getting this experience at this particular time is going to pay major dividends down the road. One of the things that not just the Cavs team from last year, but a lot of Cavs teams in the past, you would know that the Cavs would, draft or sign and try to develop all these young guys. And then you would wonder, why we never see them play, or why when they left Cleveland and actually got the opportunity to play elsewhere, we seen how good they were. A lot of people forget Danny Green was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Danny Green ended up winning multiple championships with other teams as a pretty damn good role player. And so it's just refreshing to see dudes like Sam Merrill ball out. It's refreshing to see dudes like Craig Porter Jr. get their opportunities. I can't wait till we get the chance to finally see Monty Bates, get his opportunity. And with these young guys, especially at the guard position, you look at how Donovan Mitchell is playing the point guard position. McNuggets don't think so. A lot of people who know basketball better than me don't think so. But I feel like the Cavs got enough that they can win with what they have right now, which is why I'm kind of adamant on the Cavs should, consider trading Darius Garland. And I know that's unpopular. I know that's not something that fans want to hear. Let me tell you exactly why I feel this way. I don't think the Cavs will ever in their life trade Evan Mobley. And so I have to go to who has the next amount of value if my end goal is to keep Donovan Mitchell and build a team around him. And that person would be Darius Garland. And I'm only saying this because, again, I don't think they would trade Evan Mobley. But, man, I like how they're playing basketball. And I'm afraid that once both those dudes is back in the lineup, that JB Bickerstaff is not going to know what to do. That what we see now is going to disappear. You kind of accidentally stumbled upon a formula that kind of works for how your team is built. And when you get your full squad back, I think that starting lineup has played a total of 11 games together. And so that should tell you everything of how much we don't know how this can mesh together. But at the same time, I kind of feel like if it's not broke, why go try to fix it? Unpopular opinion, this is from Christian Thompson. But if Mobley doesn't develop a shot, he has to come off the bench to keep the spacing we have. Got to keep the shooters to non-shooter ratio at 3-2 at all times. So last night I went to my daughter's basketball game. My daughter attends Warrensville High School. Shout out to the Lady Tigers, by the way. I think they played Loudonville Redbirds, who came into the game undefeated. They left our house with an L. So shout out to Coach O. Shout out to the entire Lady Tigers. But when I was there, Brad Sellers was there. And you all know Big Brad, right? Brad is a part of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show brand, part of the show. Shout out to him. He was in the building. And we really got to talking about the Cavs. I said, Brad, man, what the Cavs going to do when everybody is back? And he said to me, man, he said, somebody going to have to check their ego and be willing to come off the bench, right? And I think he's exactly right. I know that it won't look good to the masses when a guy like Evan Mobley or even Darius Garland is coming off the bench. But for real, if I'm JB Bickerstaff, I can't really worry about that. I can't really worry about what the public would think, or because Evan Mobley was the number 2 overall pick in the draft that, he must start, or because Darius Garland was a top 5 pick that he must start. Listen, if you got chemistry right now with what you have, I think, honestly, bringing Darius Garland and Evan Mobley off the bench, at least in the beginning when they come back, it wouldn't hurt anything. If anything, it makes the Cavaliers more lethal than what they already are. And so if people are actually willing to check their ego, like, can you vision it right now? Just close your eyes. Paint a mental picture, right? We know what the Cavs starting lineup is right now. Now, we playing 1 in, 4 out. Imagine if you substituting Jared Allen for Evan Mobley and you substituting Donovan Mitchell for Darius Garland, and you still got your role players of Craig Porter Jr., Sam Merrill, Karis LeVert, all filling out that guard spot. The Cavs, to me, they're more lethal that way. I don't think it's a team in the NBA that will be able to match up with that particular second unit. And so if I'm the organization, if I'm the head coach, if I'm running things, this is how I'm going about my business. I can't worry about status quo. I can't worry about how things are traditionally done. I can't worry about what national media going to say. Hell, I can't even worry about us in the local media and what we might say. The bottom line is, if you stumble upon a formula of success that is actually working for your team, then I think you need to stick with that. And I think that you need to slowly integrate Evan Mobley and Darius Garland back into the fold. We are seeing Donovan Mitchell, play great basketball as the point guard. The man had 13 assists last game out. right? And he's still able to get a bucket. But you see like the floor spacing. You see like what it's like when you get these different shooters spaced around a big man. We was all calling for Jared Allen to be traded. I know I was fed up with the dude. You know, I felt like he was timid. I felt like he was soft. I felt like that ever since he had made a statement about the lights being too bright, that he had never bounced back from that. And so now it's like, man, we seeing Jared Allen that we never seen before, right? Like even last year, I can't recall Jared Allen having this much of an impact. This dude now is like a walking double-double. There has been plenty of games to where I can remember in recent memory to where the man would have like 6 points and 4 rebounds. And then I would be sitting up here pissed off. Like, I know damn well this ain't my big man walking around with 6 points and 5 rebounds. So looking forward to that game tonight, man. I honestly think the Cavs is gonna win this game. I think they're gonna push that 2-9. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see how it go from there. We got one more thing to talk about, and then we're gonna kind of get to some Q&A. If anybody got any questions for me, I definitely answer them. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Again, just a little preview of what the Ultimate 216 show gonna look like. We're gonna use the hashtag U216 for this show, right? U216. Man, if y'all feeling me on that hashtag U216 in the chat right now, definitely get to your comments and things like that. One thing I want to do, I should have kind of built it out before I got here, but I'm gonna do a 5-leg parlay with y'all right here. I'm gonna put this in myself. I want y'all to kind of like put it in with me. Tyvus is doing a 14-leg parlay, bro. You crazy. You crazy. So real quick, we're gonna do this together and we're gonna move on to the last thing we want to talk about because again, everything is not gonna always be sports. I am going to take give me Donovan Mitchell at 25 plus points. I am taking the under on Giannis. Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, they got the under for Giannis set at 32 and over under for Giannis set at 32 and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and take the under on that. And I think I'm gonna take the under on Damian Lillard 25 and a half points. I would go, so I'm going under on Lillard. I'm going under on Giannis. I am going 25 plus on Donovan Mitchell. They got the over under set at 30 and a half for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he's going to drop a 30 ball tonight. This might be crazy. I'm going to say the double-double streak in tonight. I'm going to say the double-double streak for Jared Allen in tonight, just for the simple fact, man, Giannis is a different beast. Let me see where they got these rebounds set at. Jared Allen. All right, so they got the over-under for Jared Allen set at 11 and a half rebounds. Again, Jared Allen is up to 12 straight double-doubles. Might actually take the under. So I'm going under 11 and a half rebounds for Jared Allen. I am going under 25 and a half points for Damian Lillard. I'm going under 32 and a half points for Giannis. And then I'm going Donovan Mitchell, 25 plus points. And that's going to be my 4-leg parlay, courtesy of FanDuel on the Cavs Bucks tonight. Good luck to y'all. If you got a winning ticket, y'all already know what to do, man. Send it in. And we'll feature it on the show tomorrow. Let's get to some more chats real quick. I feel Mobley needs to be more tougher in the paint. He exposed in the playoffs, and that was our downfall. I like Mobley needs to get tougher in the paint. I think Mobley, let's just be real. I think Evan Mobley's development has not been what we thought it would be. You know, we were sold on this unicorn, and I don't see unicorn. You know, G has made the point of if you let Teddy Holmgren, if you look at Victor Wembanyama, that's unicorn status, right? And who knows, man? Evan Mobley is a dude who might just be a slow developer. See what we got here. This says losing TTL will hurt, but we'll see. Hey, man, listen, I don't know if y'all seen the social media threads. They was tearing his ass up. They say, man, he's just a horrible cheater. He wasn't good at cheating on his girl. He ain't good at cheating in the league. Listen, this is the NBA where, drug testing is not, they got a lot of leniency, for lack of a better phrase. Like, and then I seen a post that said, which was crazy, said when he made that no-look pass against the Orlando Magic the other day, it was a dead giveaway. So shout out to y'all, man. U216 is fire. Shout out to Christian Thompson. Miss Benton, man, teacher of the year right there. Shout out to you. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do that. So something that I wanted to get into, not gonna really have a lot of time to do it with these captions that real quick. Again, man, I always want to talk about something outside of the sports realm, the wrong role model, right? So I'm finna go back to the chat real quick. Yes or no, whatever the case may be, however you want to comment. Like, do you believe that athletes and entertainers are role models? Give me a 1 if you believe they are. Give me a 2 if you don't believe it. Because, see, the reason why I'm asking this question is because, again, on the Ultimate 216 show, we're going to have some real authentic conversations. Everything ain't going to be about sports. And maybe as I get to know you all and you all get to know me a little bit more on an intimate level, then maybe you will understand why some of my takes are what they are, how they are, why some of my opinions are the way that they are. I have a huge problem when we as adults, right, kind of don't do what's necessary to be the ones that's raising our children. I think that first and foremost, being entertained is okay. We all need a break from our everyday reality, right? But you see so many people, mainly the youth, that looks at these athletes and entertainers as role models, right? And then when these people like screw up, then it leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And it's funny, man, because we could talk about a guy like Deshaun Watson. I grew up, Brett Favre was like one of my favorite players. Ray Lewis to me was a dog. These are people who, hell of an athlete, but at some point throughout their career, real life happened. And then when real life happened, now people starting to kind of look at them a little different. And my father has always raised me on, you don't know these people. You don't know this man or woman from a can of paint. And so how the hell you look try on anything after what they do? My father would tell me all the time, man, these people are here for your entertainment. They are here from your break of reality because they are human just like you. And one day they will make a mistake and people will remind them of how human that they are. And so I would just say, like, my message to a lot of people is, man, raise your children yourself, right? LeBron James, Deshaun Watson, all them people, man, they should not be your child's role model. I think that fans sometimes forget that these athletes, these entertainers, these rappers, they human too, right? And yet somehow, some way, we continue to put them in categories that makes them feel like they're above you and I. They just happen to have a different job, and their job might be a little bit more entertaining, and that said job is appealing to you, that it gets your time and attention for however amount of a lot of time that you allow that to be. And so when you hear my takes and I say, man, well, that dude is just a human. Everybody make mistakes. I really think a lot of fans look at these athletes like they're supposed to be perfect. Or a lot of people will say, well, he or she is supposed to be a role model to a kid. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's up to you to be a good role model to your kid. To me, I don't know what Webster's dictionary says, but a role model is somebody typically older than you that you can look to, that is doing something positive that you can learn from, right? How can somebody that you don't know be a child's role model? And why would you as a parent allow that to happen? Because these same, again, back to Deshaun Watson, we all know what Deshaun Watson went through, right? And it's so funny because I can remember, I think it was like the hurricanes that was going on, and JJ Watt was doing a lot, but Deshaun Watson was also in Houston, Texas, doing a lot for the community. Same thing when COVID hit. He was doing a lot for the community. The man has always been in the streets, doing things to help people, doing things to give back. By now, you know his story. You knew how he grew up. The moment that life hit, the moment that he found himself in some real shit and real shit happened, you start seeing people treat him differently. You start seeing people's opinion of him change. And that's just an example of what I mean. All of us are subject to, at one point or another, going through some stuff. And when you allow an athlete to quote unquote be your role model or your child's role model, then to me, in my opinion, you setting your child up for failure. Because you as a parent, you can't even separate your own fandom from the fact that this dude is just another human, just like me and you. And so if you can't separate your fandom from the fact that he's just a human like you and I, then how can you expect your child to be able to do so? Like I said, man, Brett Favre, we all know some of the stuff that Brett Favre has been accused of and some of the things he's done and some of the things he's went through. As a child growing up, that was one of my favorite players, right? Like, I'm a dude that listened to a lot of rap music. And if we want to get more specific, I'm a dude that listens to a lot of quote unquote trap music. Like, I know a lot of people, man. I got a teacher in my chat, and I know for a fact she go to work listening to trap music and she can go listen to kids. It just kind of puts you in a different mindset. But no way, shape, or form am I trying to go out here and live my life like they do. I got kids that listen to the same type of music. But my daughter understands that just because she might listen to NBA Youngboy, that she can't go out here and conduct herself like NBA Young-Girl. Because why? As her father, I'm not taking that shit. I'm not playing that. That's not how we get down. And so that's just something I wanted to leave with you all. You know what I mean? And it kind of came from a conversation that we had earlier when the cameras was off, man. But these is wrong role models. If you really looking for, athlete or entertainer, man, if your child was to say, hey, that's my role model, and you don't check that right away, I advise you to kind of like alter your opinion, alter your mindset. Because truthfully, man, I feel like a lot of the youth, they just like a lot of people, man. They just like us. We need guidance, right? We need to be guided in a certain direction. And without that, we don't have much. So real quick, I kind of went over 2 minutes over, man. 2 minutes. Anybody got any question for me? Let me know. I'll try to answer as many as I can. Also, man, thanks y'all for joining me. Like I said, man, it was just a sneak peek of what I had going on. Let me know where y'all watching from. Let me know what type of content that you're looking for. If anybody got any life or culture ideas, man, you can email me at emalden at Tegna.com. That's emalden, EMAULDIN at Tegna.com for any show ideas, any content ideas. If I like it, if I think it's dope, we'll do it. And of course, I'll get you a shout out. Some other things that I'm trying to do with this platform, I am trying to highlight anybody locally that's doing something positive, right? Like, you can be like a community activist. You can be out here spreading love, giving your contribution back to the city of Cleveland in a form of teaching, in a form of coaching, mentorship programs, tutoring programs. I know a couple of former council people. Talked to former councilman Bashir Jones. He's going to be looking to make an appearance on the show. Talk to Mayor Justin Bibb. He's going to be making an appearance on the show. I mentioned my daughter's coach, Orton Bryant, affectionately known as Coach O. Told him to pull up on me. Just a lot of different people, man. Coach Sean Spencer, Coach the Rose Rams, I asked him to pull up. So what I want to do is use this platform to highlight people that's doing something in the city of Cleveland, doing their part to restore hope, faith, and encouragement in this city. And guess what? You don't have to be known as a quote unquote content creator. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be in the game. You don't have to do any of that, right? If you somebody that's dope, this is my platform. I'm going to feature you and I'm going to highlight you on this platform. This ain't just for the people that's established. This ain't just for the people with the blue check marks. Looking to get some former and current athletes on this show as well. just looking to have some fun and entertain y'all, man. But the goal of the ultimate show, sports life culture, is to entertain, is to inform, is to educate. But more often than not, man, it's just to restore hope, restore faith, and make people believe. I come from the inner city of Cleveland, and in the neighborhoods I grew up in, you've seen a lot of drugs being sold. You've seen a lot of drugs being used. You've seen a lot of murders. You've seen a lot of people going to prison. You've seen a lot of people who didn't have no hope. You've seen a lot of people who truly believed that either they was going to be dead before the age of 21, locked up before the age of 21, or whatever their current circumstances were. That's just what it was going to be. And I am here to tell you as a walking testimony, as a living witness, that you can do whatever you put your mind to. You know, all you got to do, if you're a believer, and again, I'm not a religious dude, I'm more spiritual, but my grandmother always say, man, ask God for what you want and then be willing to work for it. And if you're willing to work for it and you're willing to put in, like, you know what I'm saying, everything that comes with it, then you'll be cool. And I promise you, you'll make something out yourself. So if you somebody with an idea, if you somebody that's actually really, you know, care about like touching the youth, if you somebody that really care about like, you know, making the situation better, you know, I'm kind of preaching to the choir at this point. Y'all be in the city, y'all be in the streets just like I do. Y'all know what's going on. So we need more people to galvanize the youth, which is why I said, man, you're looking for these athletes and entertainers to be role models to your children. Nah, that ain't it. You know, it takes a village, and truthfully, man, it's us. It's us, right? Like, we here. Why not us? Why can't we do it? So go through some of these comments real quick. Get up out of here. See here. What we got here? Joseph Labman said, I think Mitchell being thrown in the mix and taking shots from him hindered the development. Yeah, that's facts. I can see that. Shout out to Jorge. So I totally agree. However, some kids do not have positive people in their lives. They turn to someone that they can make a connection to. While, yes, they are human, they still have a moral responsibility. See, that's that educator for y'all. I didn't know Deshaun Watson was in East Cleveland helping out the kids. That's real. Yeah, hey, man, Deshaun Watson really be in the streets, right? Deshaun Watson, whether y'all know it or not, since he's been a member of the Cleveland Browns, have done a lot of community work. And, like, he really do be in East Cleveland. East Cleveland, if you don't know, have a Muni League football team known as the East Cleveland Chiefs. And if you've paid attention to some of Deshaun Watson's locker room interviews, you've actually seen him rocking some of that gear. Burnell Jackson said he's in Atlanta via the land, man. Hey, Burnell, shout out to you. Man, I love going to Atlanta. I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of family in Atlanta. I got family in Augusta, Georgia. I get down there, the first thing I want to do is go to Papados. I want to go to the Trap Museum, and then I'll just be taking it from there. Blackwater Bank says we lost the connection of how a community works and the roles that everyone play. I really agree with that, man. I think like community is important, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a village. And again, iron sharpens iron. And I think like we can do more together than we can apart. And the sooner that we understand and realize that, I think the better off that we'll be. Shout out to Jasmine Ruffin with the fire emojis. Let's go, Cleveland. My man said I'm in Euclid chilling right now. This one here, we got to come together as a community and look out for one another, no matter the race, religion, or whatever. Unfortunately, the way society is going, it don't exist anymore. You're right. I'm like by default an internal optimist, though. I believe that I can do the impossible. I believe if somebody told me, Earl, there's a 99.99% chance that can't happen, then I'm going to bank on me being at 0.01 that we'll make it happen. And if you know me personally, you kind of know like that has been my life. That's just who I am. No, facts, buddy, in the trenches giving back, but somehow people always bring up the negative. So trash. Hey, listen, it's like Christian, man. It's like this, right? It's kind of like a plane crash, a plane sometimes. Planes take off and they leave every single day. And nobody ever talks about the plane that lands safely. what people do talk about is the plane that crashes, man. So again, had some fun with y'all, man. If you know me from 92.3 The Fan, I sign out the same way. I'm only going to be signing out the same way right here on U216. Be great, spread love, being great. That thing is priceless. No, see, look, I done messed it up already. Be great, spread love, man. Being great, it comes with a price. Spread love, they think is priceless. Remember, man, pilot episode of the Ultimate 216 show launches February 8th at 5 p.m. I'm looking forward to it. Good, bad, or indifferent, man. Don't forget, send some feedback from this video. Remember, send them content ideas in, man. Love y'all. Next time.